to Signatures and Finisher Podcast. I'm your host, DS Walt. You know, the guy with the topics, the brains, psych, the brains. See, me and Jimmy got this pinky in the brain thing going on, so I'll let everybody figure out who's pinky and who's the brain, but I know who's pinky in the brain is.
I could go back and forth on any given day. Just saying.
That's right. It depends on what day it is. One of us is pinky, the other one is the brain. Sometimes both of us be pinky.
Yeah.
And like today, I'm pinky. That's the brains. But hey,
Well, if I'm the brains, I don't got the topic, so this could be a problem.
No brain, oh no, oh no. But yeah, welcome to the Signatures and Finishers podcast. And on today's show, we're gonna talk about the glorious 6 years of AEW because they made to year six. You know, some wrestler companies like AEW usually don't make it to year six, and regardless of how I feel about AEW or how No Yeet Jamie feels about AEW, still congratulations on you to make it to year six. And we know it's going to be more AEW in the future. So let's just hope that they continue to be around and continue to entertain their audience. As he shakes his head.
No, I watched it again last night just to make sure it was fresh in my head. I watched all of AEW's Dynamite episode and fast forward through SmackDown because let's face it, SmackDown is just in the dumps right now. The AEW episode was actually very, very good. My only concern at this point, storyline wise, is that the Dan Callis family is getting too big.
Yes, it is. What is it, like 30?
It's not that big, but I think there's close to 10 guys now, not counting Don Callis himself. Because I'm just talking like actual wrestlers. There's got to be close to 10, if not a little bit over that at this point. I mean,
I think it's over 10. I think it's over
having
10.
Andrade there, just like I get why they would have put him there, but it doesn't feel like it was needed either. And then if hologram is going to be part of that whole thing now too, now you have another guy that again not necessarily needed there. If anything, I would say that they probably should have started another separate faction. I mean, one thing that I do like about AEW is that they have. I'm waiting for WWE to bring it over, but like a faction championship, they've got the trios titles. Obviously, you don't want to call them the trios championship or anything because it's already done in AEW, but I would call it like a faction championship. Who was it back in the day in was it WWE or WCW? I'm actually drawing a blank on this one where it was a faction and they would just rotate it was the New Day. The New Day used to do it where all three of them would just call themselves the tag team champions and then any two of them would be wrestling.
And the fabulous Freebirds.
Yeah, and the Freebird. I wasn't really going back that far, but yeah, they did it too. But I'm kind of waiting for WWE to do it. I know why they don't do it now. They don't have enough factions. But that's one thing I do enjoy about AEW is that they do have that. And I think if you're going to move Hologram into a faction like that from the conglomerate or conglomeration or whatever he was in before, it would have made more sense probably to pair him up with Andrade and start something new and have another faction to go after those trios titles.
Yeah, the Don Callis family is big, and it seems like he has all the heels in his family. And I agree with you with the fact that Hologram and Andrade does not fit, especially Andrade because for when he just got there. I mean, if y'all didn't see it, Andrade debuted back in AEW this past Wednesday,
Might have called it last week.
And he attacked Kenny Omega. And the one thing that crossed my mind is why would you put him in the field with Kenny Omega? But we'll get to that later. I'm happy that he has a mouthpiece that someone's gonna do the talk for him, like Don Callis can, because you know what I mean, if you look at it, he's one of next to Paul Heyman, the next best manager in professional wrestling right now. What I don't like about it is that you could have gave Andrade could have been a solo act, could have hired Jose the manager, or you could have Jose the manager, Andrade, and Roosh as a team. Because remember, before he left AEW the first time, they had a faction. They was a faction together. So they, I think it was like what 4 or 5 of them. So you could have
Mhm.
put him and Roosh and Jose the manager, all three of them together. They could be a tag team. Or they could be two single wrestlers with a mouthpiece, and you could push Andrade to the main event scene because I do believe he is a main event wrestler. So putting with Don Callis, I kind of believe that he's gonna get lost in the numbers because right now he's pushing Okada. Takeshita gonna need his push, and was it?
Takeshka's going to be gone soon. Like
Well,
that's
yeah,
already
he
started
is.
happening.
Yeah, he is, but not right now. And you got Kyle Fletcher. You got the TNT champion. I'm missing this one. Brian Cage is over there.
Wardlow.
Warlow's over there, but he's hurt, but he's going to be on TV.
Hmm.
And who was it? Alexander. He is part of that faction. So you
Yeah,
got a
Josh
lot.
Alexander.
Yeah. So you have a lot of guys, names who's part of Don Callis family, and you added hologram and you add Andrade, they're gonna get lost in the shuffle.
On the same show, no less.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like one of them. It's not like half of them is on Collision, the other half is on Dynamite. They're all on the same TV show. So somebody's gonna get lost in the numbers, and I hope it's not Andrade. But I stand by what I said. He should be with Jose the manager, or just get him a female wrestler, something like what he had Selena Vega, who was his mouthpiece, and she was a wrestler, so
Hmm.
she did double duty. So they could have done that.
Well, she doesn't really wrestle anymore, so just got
well,
to
I
get her out
think
of that company.
I think they're changing her gimmick.
Well, she needed something, but we don't need to talk about Zelina Vega right
No,
now.
no, 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 no. That's for another
Um,
day.
Having Andrade there just strengthens their claim that they have the better wrestlers. Um, because Andrade is one of the best out there, period, right now. I mean, we talk about it almost every week, but those matches with Carmelo Hayes last year across any wrestling promotion, that was probably the best set of matches continuously between two individuals that you were going to find all of last year. That best of 7 with him and Carmelo Hayes. So
Yes, yes.
bringing him back over to AEW just strengthens that claim. I mean, overall in pure work, I know we talked about it a few weeks ago, and I was like, I don't know. But when you're talking about pure actual wrestling ability, AEW probably does have better wrestlers at this point. Um,
I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, they had the best wrestler. I mean, that's even saying even without Brian Danielson not
mhm.
wrestling anymore, they do put on the best wrestling matches. Not
Yeah.
saying that WWE can't do it because they can if they wanted to, but yeah,
Well,
AEW
you have a
has the
lot of
best
guys in
wrestling.
WWE that openly admit that they wrestle very, very safe. And this isn't me backing down saying that I believe somebody's going to break their neck in AEW. I still fully believe that's going to happen. But Finn Balor openly talks that he wrestles a very, very safe style. Randy Orton wrestles a very, very safe style. Seth Rollins wrestles for himself a very safe style, but very reckless for other people. He's injured how many people with the way he does things, but he's very safe to himself. Um, a lot of those guys have talked about it. They do things that are very safe for themselves. Finn Balor, known as being a very safe guy, how he hasn't actually hurt somebody with, the coup de grace, I don't know, but obviously he's good at doing it. He hasn't really hurt anybody. But Seth Rollins, you hurt Sting, you've hurt Randy Orton, you've hurt how many people with the stomp, like legitimately actually hurt people. Um, AEW, they're a little more reckless, but that also makes them more watchable.
Yes, and we also I contribute to a lot of those guys in WWE wrestle safe because of the injuries that they have suffered or they have been part of that have caused someone in the ring injuries. Like you see the modify of the stunt by Seth Rollins,
Mhm. Oh,
and
it's
you
nowhere near like what it used to be.
no
Just like
no
Triple H changed the pedigree.
yeah, it's safer. And you
Much safer.
see, yeah, and you see, and in a way, you kind of do see the RKO. You had remember we had that discussion about Diamond Dallas Page is due to The diamond cut is way better than RKO. When you look at Randy Orton applies the RKO, it is not as tight, I should say,
Mm-mm.
like it was when he started.
When he started it, it was very, very close to a diamond cutter. Like he
Hmm.
had both hands on, he'd rip it down. Now it's basically just grab an arm and basically just get enough fingers to touch the back of the neck that they know to fall forward.
Yeah,
That's really all it is.
yeah, and not only that, if you also look at a lot of these guys have suffered back injuries, knee injuries, so they're very conscious of they don't want to get hurt. So while everybody be making fun of the Miz wrestling safe, Brian Danielson, call him a safe wrestler, everybody's doing it now because everybody
Hmm.
wants to expand their careers a little longer,
Well,
and they
because
don't
now
want to
they're
get
actually
hurt.
making real money,
Yeah,
like
so
real money. They're not
yeah,
making 250,000 a year when they're spending half of it on hotels and car rentals,
yeah, or 500,000,
right?
right? So
Um,
yeah, I don't have no problem with the safe wrestling. Sometimes I do believe it's too safe. I mean, if it's gonna be that type of safe, then I mean, y'all should just know about it and just call it the PG area, or I should say, or the G era.
I don't have a problem with the safe wrestling. You could do safe wrestling and be highly entertaining.
Yeah,
Again, go back to like a John Gresham, Zack Sabre Jr. If you're a
that
fan
was,
of wrestling, you can watch those two wrestle anytime. They both wrestle very safe because they're both very technical wrestlers.
and that's one of my favorite matches of the year, by the way.
Yeah, they're amazing. Bret Hart, one biggest thing that he credits himself for, never hurting anybody. Wrestled a very safe style, but he was very entertaining.
Hmm.
Like you can do safe and be entertaining. I'm not saying you have to go out there and almost kill yourself or somebody else in AEW, but there are a lot of matches. I mean, again, that Becky Lynch, AJ Lee, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, that was one of the most boring wrestling matches I've watched my whole life.
Yeah, and also
Especially
it
for
was,
all the hype that was
yeah,
built onto that.
yeah, and also when I went back and rewatched that match, it was a safe match.
Mhm.
And I understand why. I differently. I thought it was good. I thought it was a great match. But
You did far more
also,
harm to AJ Lee with that match than what should have been done. If she wasn't that ready, you should have had her down in the performance center, learning how to do stuff and getting comfortable
well,
because
again,
that was embarrassing.
it goes back to when did she officially signed that contract,
Hmm.
and when did she officially knew that she was going to be come when she was I can't even talk. When officially she knew when she was coming back, and when did she sign that contract, and when did she start training? Because it
100%.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it was safe for AJ for reasons she ain't been in the ring in 10 years, and we already know if you ain't been in the ring for 10 years, then you're gonna be all type of rusty. So again, it goes back to what you said. It to you, it was a boring match, but it was a safe match for AJ. Now, if you think about it, if AJ been in the ring training for this comeback, the match might have been different, or it might would still been the same because again, she been out for 10 years.
Hmm. I just think that the whole situation with that was done poorly. I don't remember if it was a quote that I had read from Bubba. Or no, it was Kevin Nash. It was Kevin Nash. I read it a couple days ago. He has the exact same thoughts on it that I did. Why did you have AJ Lee come out and come back and do this whole long blah 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 spiel, talking, talking, talking? Nobody cares. All she had to do was come out and go down and start slapping the shit out of Becky Lynch. You're out there slapping her husband. She doesn't need to come out and say words and be all awkward. Come out, just slap her around, beat her down, embracing the fans going crazy, cheering you. Get that kind of back under your feet, get your sea legs, as they say. And then the following week, come out and do your little bit of talking. They handled the whole thing terribly, completely terrible. There needed to be no words for getting her to come back.
Well, they tried to duplicate when CM Punk came back. When he came back to AEW, he came back to
They
professional
left
wrestling,
for different reasons.
right? But they trying to get that what's that I'm looking for, that excitement back. You remember when he
Yeah, they're
came
trying to
back to
capture
professional
lightning
wrestling?
in the
Yeah,
bottle.
yeah. And when he came back to AEW, everybody went crazy, everybody went nuts, and then he talked and he explained to why he left, what took him so long to come back, They tried to do that same type thing, spill with AJ Lee, and it. I'm
But
not gonna
notice
say
what
it went
company
over.
he came back to.
Right, right. He came back to AEW first.
Well, not he came back. He went to AEW. He
He
didn't
went to
come back
AEW.
to
Yeah.
WWE until he burned that bridge. He ain't never going back to AEW. He doesn't have an opportunity to. So he went the only place he could go to still make money.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think he burned that bridge. I think he was forced out, pushed out by. I'm sorry, the elite. I tried to
I don't
cover
think
that,
the
but
Elite really have that much power in the company. I think that's more storyline gimmick crap than anything. Since
I
Cody's gone,
mean,
I really don't think they have anything to do with anything. The
I
only one
mean,
that is
it,
actually shown outside of AEW shows that they have any sort of pull is Kenny Omega.
and he's part of that group.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you look at it, they chose 6 people over one. He chose 6 guys that was loyal to him from day one over a guy that was his top superstar, his money, because he was bringing the money in the gate. He was spending asses in the seats. He chose them over him.
To be fair, what is CM Punk known for? When he doesn't get his way, he throws a temper tantrum until he quits. So, would you take
Yeah.
6 guys that have already rode with you for years, getting this thing off the ground, or would you take this one guy who, as we all know, would have left the first chance he got to go to WWE that he could?
Me personally, I'm taking the guy who's putting seats in the bus is making me money at the gate because I had those 6 guys who had an opportunity to do that, and they still haven't made $1 million at the gate. Allegedly, that's what Punk said. Those are not my words. I don't know how much money he was bringing in AEW, but me personally, I probably got rid of all of them because
Punk,
the one thing that we know that nobody likes, they don't like rumors. Nobody likes drama, and it's all about getting along with the boys and the girls in the locker room. At any time, if you're not getting along with the boys in the locker room, it becomes a problem, and all of them was a problem. I'm getting rid of everybody because it's just bad for business. Overall, it's just bad for business.
they're never going to get rid of anybody. Or everybody. Sorry, I said that backwards.
Yeah,
I mean, even you can go all the way back to SummerSlam of what, 90, 91, when Ultimate Warrior tried to hold up Vince for 500 grand. Vince wrote him the check because the show's got to go on. What happened as soon as the match was over? He got fired. Like, as soon as he walked behind the curtain, you're fired.
rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. But that was one heck of a severance package.
Yeah, but I mean, you made 500 grand and basically didn't have a career. Let's see, it was like 6, 7 years before you showed up in WCW for
Just
like
for the
three
one match
matches.
you want. Just for the one
Yeah,
match you want.
and then you went what, another 15 years before WWE did anything with you? Almost 20 years.
Hall of
So
Fame.
yeah, and then unfortunately passed away a couple days later. Um, but I mean, that whole thing with CM Punk, I probably would have done the same thing. Cast him out, keep the guys that helped you build the thing. Um, Kenny Omega's, he's always going to draw seats. I mean, CM Punk, I there's something that I don't know if I just don't connect it in my head. I don't see what's great about him. Like nothing.
It's he relates to the fans in a way that most wrestlers don't relate to the fans. And I'm not talking about
He
now.
lies
I'm not. Hold
constantly.
on, wait a minute. I'm not talking about now. Even though now he's still. I'm when I mean by I'm talking about back when he was in Ring of Honor. Back when his early run with the
Before he got
WWE.
popular, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't deny that.
yeah. He related to the fans a lot, and the fans love him, and they still love him. Do I think CM Punk is the greatest wrestler? No. Do I love his promo skills? Yes, I do. Do I love seeing him in the ring wrestling? Yes, I do. I don't look at CM Punk the same way that I did 15, 16 years ago. I
I mean,
don't see
even
him. I
15
don't
years
view him the
ago,
same way as I remember when he fought John Cena, when he feuded with John Cena, when he feuded with Brock Lesnar, when he in Ring of Honor, doing some of his best work. I think who was it with Brian Danielson?
Hmm.
I remember those matches, and that's when I became a Punk fan.
Those matches were good, but they were more based on Brian Danielson's ability than they were
Well, the
CM
chemistry
Punk's
to
ability.
both, yeah, well, the chemistry between both guys was great, but
Yeah, they
Brian
had good chemistry.
Danielson was, yeah, he carried the match because he was a better wrestler.
I'll give CM Punk respect now because he does seem like he's learned from past mistakes, and they have. I mean, WWE covers for themselves because if they were to talk crap about one of their performers, it just makes them look bad. But all the signs say that he's supposed to be pretty good backstage at trying to teach and coach people and things like that. So I'll give him credit for that because CM Punk 10 years ago, 12 years ago wouldn't have done that.
Nah, yeah,
Um,
it, the
and
thing,
I'll even give credit for the whole Jungle Boy aspect of that whole fight breaking out was because he was trying to tell them not to do the thing through the windshield. And Jungle Boy wanted to push the issue, wanted to do it. That's what caused the whole fight to begin with. But so I would side with CM Punk on that. Nobody, I don't know why people think going through windshields would be fun. I don't think people realize how thick that glass actually is. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean,
Goldberg almost died. People don't realize how close Goldberg was to dying when he punched through that window and severed that artery in his arm.
yeah, and not only that, I mean, who wants to go through real glass and get cuts and lacerations on your back?
Yeah.
And listen, and I think everybody kind of got to understand that CM Punk is not the same guy he was 12, 15 years ago. The thing about CM Punk that I think we all keep forgetting is that he's the same guy that he was in AEW. He is in the WWE. The biggest difference is the young wrestlers in the WWE, even some of the current veterans in the WWE, they're willing to listen to him and take his coaching to help them to put on better matches. And he wants to be there to help the younger generation because CM Punk knows he knows that hey the new generations are the ones who's going to carry this the WWE, and he wants to put them over, and he wants to work with them, wants to help them. Compared to AEW where Adam Page didn't want to work with him, the Young Bucks didn't want to work with him. None of the young talent there did not want to work with him or take his coaching because they feel like they didn't need it. In actuality, they all need it. Now I know it's with some wrestlers who was it. Swerve Strickland didn't have a problem with them. Darby Allin didn't have a problem with them. There are some uh, young wrestlers who see a Punk work with AEW speak glowingly of CM Punk, but the main ones didn't. And because they did, they didn't want him there. And that's how we got to that situation where brawl out happened in the locker room. I don't know why Chris Jericho put himself involved in that situation. This made it look worse. And
No,
plus, we
Jericho puts
are,
himself into every backstage situation. Like,
yeah,
dude beat up Goldberg, beat up to a point Brock Lesnar. Like, he goes after people. Like, that's what he does. That's what he's known for.
yeah. And he almost got beat up by MVP in the elevator. So it happened. It's just crazy. But who else was back there? I wanted to mention John Moxley is one of the few who didn't want to work with CM Punk, who was not a fan of CM Punk, didn't like CM Punk, but he did business with CM Punk. And we all know that goes back to the days when they both were in the WWE and the whole Shield situation. So, but heck, even John Moxley could have took some coaching and stuff from CM Punk because he out here doing these death matches and trying to go above and beyond the stuff he has that he's doing. CM Punk not the same guy.
People not wanting to work with him, I totally get, especially if you never had past experience and it was just hearsay or things like that. Okay, you got to kind of let that go. But somebody like a John Moxley perspective, where it's I was around this guy when he acted like that, I don't want to work with him. That's off of actual firsthand experience.
Yeah,
So I would get
right,
it. You'd have to do a whole lot to me to show me that you're a different person. I mean,
right.
if you, I think it was that first episode of Unreal where Triple H is talking like, "Oh yeah, we talked multiple times throughout the years," and I'd hang up the phone and say, "Oh, he's the same guy."
Yeah,
Why would you want to work with him if this is the same prick that you had the first time? Why would you want to bring him back a second time? Yeah,
but
he's going to make you some money long term, but how much damage is he going to do in the locker room? Now, if he's actually changed and he is coaching people, I also kind of look at it from a greed perspective. is he a big enough popularity or big enough in popularity like a Steve Austin where he can go like Goldberg, Austin, The Rock, some of these other guys and host TV shows? Absolutely not. He's
I
got to
think he
kind of make
can.
this work. No, he's not.
I think he can, but I don't think that's in his. I don't think that was something he would do.
But to my point, if he wants to get paid over the next 10 years, he's got to get and go with WWE. So he's got a producer role. He's got something happening past being an active duty wrestler. Because let's push it. He's
Well,
almost 50. He ain't gonna be
well,
wrestling in the ring all that much longer.
well, no, and I think his relationship is pretty good at WWE. And actually, I seen an interview with him where he said once he's done with his in ring, he's going to NXT and
Yeah,
he wants to work under Shawn Michaels and he wants to be at the PC training with the upcoming new talent. So he has a job once he's done.
yeah,
I
just
don't
like
see
Orton
CM
does.
Punk being a producer. I just kind of think he likes what he just said, what he wants to do because he wants to give back. That's the best way for him to give back to this professional wrestling is to train the next generation and learning under Shawn Michaels. And think about it. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, CM Punk would never said that.
No,
But
Shawn
then,
Michaels never
right,
would have been doing what he was doing now
right,
30 years ago. So that's
no,
why I give it a chance.
right. And then another thing, I think the one thing we keep forgetting is that when CM Punk was suspended and we out with injury, he did went to the WWE when they was in Chicago, and he apologized to the Miz, who still is one of his closest friends, but he apologized what he said. He started mending those fences with Triple H, and if you see them now, I'm not saying they're buddies, but their relationship was a lot better than it was when he was there before. The only guy that he tried to mend fences with on a business side and just testing the temperature at that time was Vince McMahon. And when Vince McMahon found out that he was in the building, he had an escort out of the building. So we know that relationship was never, ever going to be repaired. And it
When
goes
you're the
safe to
owner of the
say,
company, you can be. You could be
yeah,
like that.
it also go say this: if Vince McMahon was still running WWE, CM Punk would not be part of WWE right now.
Mm, I think to a certain degree, because I mean Triple H was running a lot of things back then. Triple H probably could have convinced him if he wanted to, but there's also a good chance that he might not be. So I'd say it's 50-50 if Vince still owned it. Um, that's not to say that Vince won't get back into wrestling here pretty soon.
I don't see
I,
Vince getting back in
I'm
wrestling.
telling you, I don't doubt him and Shane buying AEW.
I don't see it, man. I mean, first of all, he got to take care of his legal situation first. Secondly, he
He could
already
lose that case and he'll pay it out and he'll move on. Dude's
and
got
we
billions.
right and we already know that Vince already started his movie studio and he's trying to get into the movie scene and go back to what he's doing part of the WWE produced movies
You doubted me
and
on Andrade too, and look at just a couple days later.
hey that was I ain't gonna say that was love but that was a good call. But remember Andrade and Vince McMahon are different.
I'm just telling you, Karrion Cross is next.
Yeah, I just don't see it yet. I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I just don't see it yet because it don't make sense yet.
It makes perfect sense for both parties. It's another main event
Well,
name.
yeah, but I'm just saying, not yet, because I don't think he wants to go through that when he went through the WWE right now.
It's a lot different. I mean, you talk to any of the guys or read anything that they have to say about going from WWE to AEW or AEW to W. It's totally different environments.
Yeah, it's night and day, but what I'm getting at is what we always talk about. I don't think that Karen Cross wants to be on TV for 3 months and sit home for six. That's what I'm getting
I
at.
don't think that'll happen with him
Or
because he stays so active. Like Wardlow, when Wardlow's off TV, you don't hear from Wardlow.
nah,
Karrion Cross is super active on social media. Like I do very little with social media. One of the few people that I actually follow is Killer Cross because
and they
A,
both
he's
do.
funny, and B, he's intense. He does like, the snapping of the baseball bats and things like that. Like That's like real legit stuff. I've physically seen people break their arms trying to do that before, and he does it with 3. Like, he's entertaining. So even if you keep him off TV, he's going to keep himself relevant. And I don't think Tony Khan would keep him off TV. I mean, we know he has the ability to keep people on TV when he wants to. Moxley, people like that, that he just wears them into the ground to where they need a break. I think Karrion Kross would be one of those guys that he would keep on TV because he's going to
Um,
always entertain.
I don't know, man, because with Moxley, that's his go-to guy. He know that
Mm-hmm.
Moxley can carry the company, and he know that. Well, Moxley is the face of the company, in my opinion. So when something goes wrong, like if a champion gets hurt and he needs someone to put the belt, someone carry the title, to the next guy step up to the plate, that's Moxley. The thing with Karrion Kross is that yes, you're right. If he goes to AEW, he will be a big star. And yes, he should be on TV all the time. But the thing is with Tony Khan is it'll be like a shiny new toy. I'm gonna play with my shiny new toy until I don't want to play with it no more. Or until you like, hey, I'm gonna play with this for 4 months, then I'm gonna put it away, then I bring it back out when somebody wants to see him again. I don't like that. Especially to
I
me,
don't
when a
think that
guy
would
is
happen with
high,
him.
you kill you kill people's momentum if they're high. If they're cold, they don't have nothing. I'm still waiting on Camille. She been gone about a year, and she can help that women's division.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely have to work on the women's division. It's hurting.
I'm waiting on them to put Athena on AEW Dynamite instead of having her down the Ring of Honor. She been Ring of Honor's women's champion for so long, she doesn't have any competition down there. Your best women wrestler in the whole company is the Ring of Honor champion, and she just down there just chilling, down there wrestling scraps that you signed that I don't know. It's not even helping her out.
I
However,
wouldn't say she's the best that they have, but she's one of
no,
the
no. I mean,
3.
she's their wrestler. She's their best wrestler. I'm not saying that she's their biggest star. She's their best women's wrestler,
I would
and
still put that up between her and Tony Storm.
well, Tony Storm is their biggest star next
Oh,
to
for sure.
Mercedes
But I would
Moné.
also say she's probably the best wrestler. But Athena would be close to that. I mean,
Okay,
it's between those two and then like nobody else.
okay, I give you that. But if I'm gonna see Athena, I gotta watch Maple Leaf Wrestling, and which I don't complain about because I do love Maple Leaf Wrestling. Shout out to Maple Leaf Wrestling. I'm waiting on those tickets. Waiting on
Hmm.
those tickets. And actually, me and Jamie might be covering Maple Leaf Wrestling exclusively if they keep doing what they're doing, which we do like.
Hmm.
But basically, what I'm trying to say is that Tony Khan has so many good wrestlers in his company that he doesn't use them all the time.
Hmm.
He has some of the best wrestlers and sports entertainers in his company, and he doesn't use them right.
Well, I mean, WWE is the same
Yeah, I
thing,
mean, yeah, but
but they all do it, and that's the whole thing of. Well, they say it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have until the talent gets frustrated and they don't re-sign their contracts. Why do you think WWE is getting a lot of people that aren't re-signing?
yeah, but the only difference is though is that AEW they have them, and we know that he would use them correctly if he would. I don't know, put his mind into it. We know that he would use them correctly. We seen that he did before. We seen it before. We know he can do it.
That's what makes it worse is that you
Yeah,
know he can do it and he just
we know
doesn't.
he can do it, but he doesn't do it. With the WWE, it is all business. They got their favorites.
Oh yeah, and
That's
I
why
wouldn't even say it's
they
all
got their
business. It's
favorites.
not all business with WWE. That's the problem. They just run with their guys of who their buddy. Sheamus. Has Sheamus ever been a talent enough to be world champ? No. You know why he became world champ? Because he was Triple H's workout partner.
Yeah,
That's
somehow.
a fact. That's how he got his first titles run. Oh, he was my running buddy. He's my workout partner. Sheamus is terrible. He's always been terrible. And yet he's been a multi-time world champion.
Hey, he trying to become a Grand Slam and champion. It's becoming stale. Like
Everybody
he
is going
just
to be
can't
a
win the
Grand Slam
IC
champion.
title.
Yeah, everybody is going to be a Grand Slam champion. That's their other thing. Sami Zayn's got to get his world championship, and he'll have it. Sheamus needs the IC title. He'll have it. The Miz somehow is a two-time Grand Slam. Like, come on. The
And
Miz, really? Like,
I mean, if you look at it, Jamie, the Miz had done a lot what they asked
he's,
him to do. And remember, he was a two-time Grand Slam champion under the Vince McMahon administration. So Vince McMahon loved the Miz, and the Miz did all the dirty
that's
work
my
for
point.
right. And
You don't
think
have to
about
be
it,
good.
this new regime kind of look at the Miz right now in this new regime with TKO.
Hmm.
I mean, the Miz doing something that we never seen him do before. He is working with the young talent and put the young talent over. The
He's
Miz
been
never
a
did
tag team wrestler for years. You had
right.
Awesome Truth. You had all this. It's just garbage. Why they keep him on contract, I have no idea. But
He's good on the mic. But get back
yeah,
to AEW. Um, 6 year anniversary. And the one thing I want to say, my fondest memory of AEW, and look, it's gonna be a lot more down the road, but my fondest memory today about AEW is that they saved professional wrestling during the pandemic. Because if it wasn't for them, those cats up there in Connecticut would never have changed the way they were doing business because of AEW. AEW showed everybody that you can still put on a wrestling show without no crowd. And you can still put on good wrestling shows without no crowd. They forced WWE to change their way of thinking, and they came up with the Thunderdome, but they had those TV screens of the crowd in the audience. AEW, in my opinion, was way better, and I appreciate that because at that time during the pandemic, where a lot of us were sitting down home, got nothing to do, AEW kept us entertained.
hmm
And I don't care. I don't care what nobody say, but that's a professional wrestling. And that should be the fondest memory of everybody would have an AEW. Now, had their numbers and everything went down, yes. But the one thing about AEW, what they're doing, and compared to what I see on YouTube, how a lot of WWE fans be posting content, how they're sick of it, they're tired of it, they're not coming back because it's too expensive, and they don't like how the business of the WWE. AEW had their loyalists, and a lot of them call them sickos. I do too. But they have their hardcore fans, and they're catering to their hardcore fans. I got to give it to them.
well, I think it was Hangman Page. Was it? I think yeah. I think this past week I read something from Hangman Page that said they're generating for the audience. Like they're not associating themselves with being family friendly entertainment, like you keep saying with the blood and things like that. Like they position themselves away from that. I think it was Hangman Page that I read said that they're positioning themselves to cater to being able to sell tickets to the people that can't afford WWE.
Yeah, but hold on. The family friend didn't come from me. That came from Tony Khan.
Well, that was years ago
He
that they
said,
were doing that. It's been a couple of years now since they really pushed that narrative. Because now, like you said, every match is blood, this and that. I mean, MVP did the whole street fight thing with Ricochet's group,
yes.
so like that's going to be a bloody one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you already know we getting the blood and guts match part with the women this time around.
mhm.
So yeah, and plus one of the best blood matches was Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa, uh,
Yeah,
Thunder Rosa.
yeah, you know she was mentioned on on a few podcasts, and someone has said maybe Thunder Rosa should be the mouthpiece for Andrade because she's a wrestler and she speaks good English,
Hmm.
and her Andrade would make a good team. But my whole thing is though that Andrade won't fit in because he doesn't do a cooking show. He doesn't cook in his panties.
No, but that might bring more attention to Andrade if you paired the two up. Um,
Yes.
I still have not seen this this cooking show. I also have no desire to see this cooking show, which is why I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah, don't worry
I have
about it.
not.
I seen one episode and I was like, I'm done.
I
Yeah,
have no desire to look it up. So
not because she was cooking her panties. It's because it's too many cooking shows out here.
it's true. I mean, if I want to see cooking shows, I typically just put on Food Network and
Yeah,
just let
thank
that
you.
go. Fondest moment of AEW. I'm not taking a long time to think about it because there's not a lot. There are a lot. I'm trying to just siphon through to pick like one. Um, I wasn't actually prepared for that one, so I don't know what I would say to that.
How about when Chris Jericho debuted Judas?
Judas is good. It's just a good song all around. Um,
The
Claudio
the
Castagnoli was. I was a big fan of that one. I thought that they would have done more with him by now. I'm surprised they haven't, but um, yeah, I'd probably go with that one for right now.
Mine's see, I got another one. It's probably not everybody's favorite match. I thought it was a good match and a match that needed to happen at that time. Cody Rhodes versus his brother Dustin Rhodes, 1-on-1. That was a good one. The introduction of MJF, which at that time never heard of him until 2019. I didn't. My first thought of him was he was okay, but then he started to grow on me because he's a throwback wrestler to the old days.
Mhm.
Um, let's see, the Chris Jericho versus the Orange Cassidy match.
I just hate
Well,
Orange Cassidy. That's my problem.
I know, man. You shouldn't hate people. Um, the match where Orange Cassidy ruined his white jacket.
hmm
That one. The Young
Actually, I would
Buck.
say most of my favorite moments are probably Max Caster related when he was rapping.
I'm glad you said that because I remember they debuted and him and Anthony Bowens.
hmm
And I'm like, who's this guy rapping? And in fact, the simple fact that it wasn't on AEW Dynamite, it was on AEW Dark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm like, we got a rapper wrestler? Did we try it already with No Limit?
Well, I mean, you had John Cena, but yeah, you had No Limit back in WCW. You had John Cena. Those are the most notable ones. But I mean, you could go back into the '90s and what was his name? PJ something. He had that big dude back in the '90s for WCW that did like really terrible rapping. I think his name is like PJ News or something like that.
Hmm.
You had Men on a Mission, Mabel before he became Viscera and that other dude. Rapping and wrestling really hasn't gone together. John Cena was okay when he was doing promos with the rapping because he just cut people up, but Max Caster's done something special with it, and Caster's just actually a better rapper than John Cena is too.
That's up for debate.
I mean, Caster doesn't have an album out that went platinum or anything, but
I mean, that's up for a debate. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I like to see them battle rap and we'll find out.
I don't think you're going to get any John Cena anytime soon after December in any capacity whatsoever.
Come on, man. Come on. I don't
I
want
mean,
him to
acting
wrestle.
wise, you will, but wrestling, you won't get him in any capacity
I,
for a
I, I
good
don't
long
need him to
time.
wrestle. I just want him to battle rap with Max Caster. That's all. Battle rap. That's all. Let's see
I
who's
don't
better.
think we're going to get that. I mean, every time you see John Cena now, he's always in a three-piece suit and everything, unless he's like in his wrestling gear. So he's like a totally different John Cena now. So I
That
don't
don't
think we're
mean
ever going
nothing,
to get a
man.
battle. I don't think we're ever going to get a battle rapping John
We
Cena again.
don't see what happened behind closed doors. He at the house. If he be in the mirror, he might drop a verse or two.
He might do it while he's driving around in his Honda Civic Type R too. You never
That's
know.
what I'm saying. We don't know that. We don't know that. I gotta see him and Max Caster have a battle rap. That just see. Let's see who the best. Who's better? Who's the better rapper slash wrestler?
I'd
John
say
Cena.
Cena would definitely have a lot more content to use than Max Caster would. Um, just because he's got a much more accomplished resume than Max Caster does.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think it'll be a good rap off.
It would be.
Man, Fred, I'm gonna have to put that on TikTok one day. Who will win in a rap bat rattle? I mean, damn, in a rap off. John Cena, John Cena, or Max Caster? Who will win
We'll just
in a
reach out to
battle
King
rap?
of the Dot. Maybe we could, co-promote something and get both of them on there and just do a King of the Dot.
We could. We could.
Is King of the Dot still a thing?
I don't know. It's been a while.
I don't. Ever since Pat Stay died, I haven't really kept up with it anymore. So I don't even know if it's still a thing.
We gotta look it up
We'd
after the
have to
show.
after the show, of course.
After the show, we'll look after the
Of
show.
course.
And another fond memory. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the Sting debuted and became a partner with Darby Allin.
Hmm.
The Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks at All Out. That cage match was one of the best matches ever. Um, let's see. I want to say, I mean, you can pick any Bryan Danielson matches if you want. Um,
Yeah.
Kenny
Swerve
Omega,
Strickland. Swerve Strickland winning the championship was a good moment.
yeah. Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page for the title. Page first title win. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, like I said, Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. That was one of the best female matches because that was one of the best blood matches we have seen in a long time. Um, Tony Storm versus Mariah May. That was a good one. CM Punk versus MJF was good. I mean, it's been so many. Um, and I think that's the one thing that we don't give a lot of credit to AEW is that they have put on a lot of great matches. We can say anything we want about how they have a lot of logic gaps with their stories, but when it comes to memorable matches, they have in their 6 years, they have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
they,
they've got a lot to work with. I mean, like you said, they might almost have too much talent. It is a good problem to have, but at the end of the day, it's still a problem because when you do want to bring somebody in like a Killer Cross, as an example, you're not going to bring him up to be a mid card guy. You're going to bring him up to be in the main event picture. Well, right now you've got a few people that sit there. You've got Swerve Strickland who is out right now. Um, who else? There's a couple notable names that are out right now. I mean, you've got Andrade already paired up with Kenny Omega. If you did bring in like a Killer Cross, you'd have to bring him in and put him up against like a Moxley or something like that because it's got to be a big enough name to generate real heat.
yeah. I think the other name you was thinking of was Will Ospreay.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, Osprey's out. I mean, they
Strickland's
gave
out. Wardlow's
Strickland's out,
out.
Osprey, Wardlow. There's three main guys. The Wardlow wasn't part of it because you got back Pac and a couple other guys, but then you also lost Osprey, Strickland, and somebody else. And I'm drawing a blank on the third one. Either way, that's just one of the issues with AEW is like as soon as they get a couple people back, you're like, okay, we can start doing this. They lose those same couple people, and it's like, okay, now we gotta pivot. Um, I think one thing that could help AEW, and it's harder for them because they don't have the streaming deal like Raw does, is if they were to go to a third hour of a show and actually have wrestling and not just BS segments like Raw does, would probably help them a lot.
Yeah, it would, but I don't think they'll need a third show. I mean, a
No,
third
not a third
hour.
show, a
I
third
mean,
hour.
third hour. I don't think they need a third hour. What I would like to see AEW do from here on out is I want them to spread everything out, but I want them to put everything together. For 6 years, you have put on some of the best wrestling shows in professional wrestling. Now it's time to put everything together. So I want to see them take that next step. I want to see them advancing their technology. I want to see them do better with the in-ring storylines. I want them to do more overseas shows and build up your fan base over there. I want them to start maybe stop wrestling in these pool halls, in these amphitheaters, and start getting back in the
Well,
arena. When I mean
that's not going to
arena,
happen until they get big enough stars. With we talked about it a few weeks ago. Is like, yeah, they were doing the what you call it, like uh, in Vegas when they have like their standing show. What's it called?
oh, you talking about double or
Residency.
nothing?
When they do their residencies,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that, and I actually think it works for them because again, they don't have the mainstream broad appeal that WWE has that they can go do Little Caesars Arena or something to that
No,
effect. They
no,
have to do the smaller
no,
shows.
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about those type of arenas, Jamie. I ain't talking about to go do a 20,000 arena. I'm talking about do some of these smaller arenas that seats like 4 to 5,000
Yeah.
fans. Those type of arenas I want to see them in wrestling. I don't want to see them in wrestling in the Fox Theater. I remember when I went to my first AEW event, it was in Garland, Texas, and the arena there, I think they set like 8,000 people. And once configured for AEW, it went out to like 5,500, and they packed the house. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, get back to those smaller arenas like that. They don't
Or
need to be,
that's where you get star power.
or even NXT. NXT do their residency in one arena, and that arena, what I think, what not even 1,000 people.
Are you talking about Full Sail where they started?
No, 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 they're not a full cinema, but they're in the
Yeah, I know they're
DC.
going from there. Yeah,
Yeah,
they got
full
the
set was
performance center.
bigger. Yeah, I think it's like what eight. I think it's not 91,000, something like that, or even better. When the AEW started, their very first show was in Jacksonville, and they did it. Um, Look, I just said they shouldn't do it in an amphitheater. They did in their main location, that near theater right next to the football stadium. That was
This is
nice. That was
why
sweet.
what you're saying is what I keep saying. They need star power. They need to go get Killer Cross. They had the fans in WWE selling out arenas chanting, "We want Cross." They chose to give him a crappy contract that he walked away from. AEW could go capitalize on that. They're not going to sell out arenas with the guys that they currently have in the positions that they have. What do
Well,
you
they
think would
have.
happen right now? Just as an example, if Cody Rhodes got fired today, no non compete clause, he could show up this Wednesday on Dynamite. Do you think that they would wait until Dynamite to have him surprise come out? No. There would be Cody Rhodes is all elite. There would be promotions going up everywhere to promote that he's back, and you'd have record numbers bigger than CM Punk for their viewership on Dynamite.
Well, yeah,
They need to
because
bring in
that's
you need to bring in star talent. The homegrown guys that they have, they can turn into megastars like that, but they need to go against megastars to turn into that level.
yeah. But see, but with Cody be different because that's kind of like his company because he helped start that company. So to him,
Exactly.
that's
But
going back.
if Cody left WWE and went to TNA, do you think TNA's viewership would skyrocket?
Of
Yes.
course.
That's what I'm saying. They need to bring in somebody like Karrion Cross to be able to sell out tickets for arenas like that to get to that, to then take the next step to play real size arenas.
But
I
see,
mean,
they
even
have.
WWE, if WWE went and did Raw at Ford Field here in Detroit, it's not going to sell out.
Well, not anymore. They sold out for SummerSlam, but they won't sell out
Yeah,
now.
but that's a PLE. I'm talking a standard show. Even WWE doesn't have the pull to sell out a Ford Field. For a PLE, they can, but for a standard show, they're not going to pull that. Raw, no. SmackDown, absolutely not. For a PLE, yes. But to grow the company, if they pulled in stars, because again, Two of your biggest stars in AEW are Japanese. The Western audience, without exposure here, doesn't know who they are. You go pull in a Killer Cross, now you've got something to hang your hat on. Just like starting the company with Cody. Do you think they would have started AEW without Cody Rhodes? No,
But
because the
not
Young
because they
Bucks
needed Cody. Because they needed Cody.
100%. So now you're making my point. Why I keep every week saying they need to go get Killer Cross. Why? Because he's the biggest name out there that's available, and he can actually work, and he's a social media presence. He's going to keep pushing that brand and help develop your other guys to turn them into those megastars.
Yeah, but see, the thing is though, is that MJF, Swerve Strickland, and Will Ospreay, two of them are out. They're your big and Heyman, Adam Page. They're your biggest stars in AEW, and
And
we
what
know their
happened while
household
those guys
names.
were healthy?
Yeah,
Dynamite
they're
was pulling their worst records and worst ratings that they had since they had been a company. And
right,
that's when they were all healthy.
right. But they're your biggest stars. But the thing is though, it's about if those your biggest stars, how are you using them? See, they can go and get. I mean, Cross can just go ahead and come on and be on elite. But it's about how you use them,
I know
how
that.
you use your biggest star. They're not using MJF the right way. I'm not mad at the fact that he put over Mark Briscoe. I don't think Mark Briscoe needs to be put over personally because Mark Briscoe is a big. It's not a small name. He's kind of like a big name, a big deal in professional wrestling as a tag team wrestler. I have no problem with MJF putting him over. I don't have a problem with MJF putting over Wardlow and any other guy that he wrestled. But he's your biggest star. It's about how you use your stars. So you
Exactly.
go like I was.
But
That's what I've been saying. Like, yeah, you can Crossing can go ahead and sign a contract AEW. Come on in, fly to Jacksonville, do your physical and everything, and be on Dynamite that same day. And Cross will probably get a good 5 month run. But
how did
how you use
WCW
them?
get established?
Hmm?
How did WCW get established of running Nitro and actually developing the Nitro show?
What did they?
They
Did they have like
brought
a
in a
performance?
bunch of stars that people wanted to see.
Yeah, but Jamie,
People already WCW
we
already
also got
had
to think
wrestlers.
about WCW back in the day. They didn't have a lot of stars. Their biggest star back in the day was Ric Flair, and
You're
we
missing the
hated.
whole point, though. The
I'm
whole
not
point
missing the
is
whole point.
you keep saying MJF is a star. Yeah, he's a star in AEW. Who's watching AEW? Nobody. They're getting their worst ratings. They just had like barely a point 0.4 just a few weeks ago, I think it was, maybe 2 months ago tops. So you already have these guys that are considered stars in the company. You go get somebody that is an actual star from the biggest company, those numbers start to trend up. Because at worst, yes, you have to use them, but at first, all you got to do is put the guy on TV. Let
Right.
him talk.
So the only star that I can do that is Cody Rhodes. Cross ain't gonna
Now,
make those numbers. Cross ain't gonna is not gonna improve those numbers.
I yes, he would. He's
He's
not going to
not.
take him up to doing Ford Field or something like that, but it's a steady build. Did Hulk Hogan do it by himself? No, he didn't do it for WCW by himself. You go back and look at Bischoff and talk about it and stuff. Yeah, there was initial hype and it died off really fast. Bischoff
Well,
is the
yeah.
first one to say that. It died off real quick. It wasn't until they got in Macho Man, brought Luger back, people like that, that it all started to culminate and turned into Nitro, and then Nitro beating the hell out of WWF for 83 weeks and blah blah blah. So it takes one person to come over that has a little bit of that power to then build off of. And if they keep doing the right things, you're seeing people in WWE not renewing contracts.
Yeah,
It'll keep happening.
that's true. But when you say, but I'm just saying, Killer Cross doesn't have that type of star power to do that.
Not by himself, no,
No,
but
no, but
he's
no,
a
not by
stepping
himself.
stone.
No, but
Is he a bigger star than anybody in AEW?
he's not bigger than JF. Not bigger than Swerve Strickland.
Ask any WWE fan who MJF is. How
He's
many of
not
them are
bigger than
going to
Swerve Strickland. And we
I'm not
know
saying that he is. I'm saying who's bigger. Like flat out, just objectively, Swerve Strickland's a bigger star than Karrion Cross.
yeah,
Swerve Strickland was a nobody in WWE. Absolute nobody. Like
right.
even AJ Francis said he wasn't even part of Hit Row. They just threw him on there because they had nothing
Oh
for him.
yeah, Yeah, but he built himself to be the star that he is right now, just like Cross did.
He
That's
built
just like
himself.
Cross. Just like Cross. Cross,
Yes,
they both built their star power to them
but
right now.
the
But
point
I'm
I'm
just
making
saying,
is you're taking a company that objectively and factually nobody is really watching a lot of and calling these guys stars. They're stars within that company. Look at
yeah,
Jade Cargill. They brought Jade Cargill over. What has she done?
she's done nothing
Because
other than being a
exactly.
tag team champion.
And that's because they paid her a bunch of money and had to get her on TV to get some sort of return on her. And then they realized that she's terrible. And she did more harm to Bianca Belair than she did in being helped being with Bianca Belair.
And,
Bianca
and,
Belair hadn't even
and,
been on TV.
and
But
she's
my
gonna be your next women's champion.
yeah, and that's because they're paying their stupid amounts of money and they have buyer's remorse, so they have to force the issue.
Right,
Um,
but still, though, I mean, it's gonna take more than carrying Cross. It, we just use this as an example, ladies and gentlemen. We're not saying he's in AEW. Yeah, you're right. It's gonna take more of those guys to build the star power to get the people watching the product. But
but is Karrion Cross a bigger name than almost everybody that they have in AEW?
I say more than about 50% of them. Yes, he is.
I
Because
would
like you
say,
said, because we see him on social media. We see him on social media. We
is
see
Karrion
his.
Cross a bigger star than Hangman Adam Page?
Ooh, I think they're on the same level. I'm
Karrion
not
Cross
gonna
is a
say
far
that.
bigger star than their world champion.
I don't know. I think they're on the same level. I
Okay,
really
so
do.
in a
Because the reason
building,
I say that because their careers are kind of image each other. The only
I'm not
difference is
talking about careers. I'm talking about you had a building full of 20,000 people chanting, "We want Cross." AEW doesn't even play in a building that houses 20,000 people, and I don't ever hear anybody cheering Hangman Page.
I don't know, man. Because I just gave you one of my favorite matches of all. One of my favorite AEW was Kenny Omega versus Adam Page, and they fought at the Target Center. They love Adam Page. They love Adam Page before Adam Page got to where he is right now. I say that because I remember Adam Page came from New Japan. No one did heard of him till he got to AEW. And once he got to AEW, people instantly fell in love with Adam Page. So I don't know.
I
The
mean,
only way I
he's a
say
blonde
there,
haired white
the
guy.
only thing I put like this, the only thing that separates Adam Page and Karrion Cross is social media. Because the things that he do on social media, that's the only thing that separates them. But I'm not gonna sit here and say if you put 20,000 people in an arena here in the United States, not over there in London, because in London, yeah, they cheer for Adam Page over there. But 20,000 people here in the United States, they would cheer for Adam Page.
And that's my point. I'm looking something up really quick. I'm seeing how many Instagram followers Killer Cross has. So,
Yeah, but it all, no matter what we say, it's always gonna come back to is how will Tony Khan and the writers present these stars because they can have 10 superstars, and if they not presenting them in the way to draw in new viewership or take some across his audience and bring them over to AEW, if he's not using him right, his audience not gonna watch.
so the problem I have right now is there's too many fan pages for him. So I don't know which one the
Right,
real one is.
right.
Um,
Just get one. Just get one.
okay, let me just click back here. But my whole point is I was going to look up how many followers he had. And it's like, do you think those people wouldn't at least check out what he's doing? So here, we'll
Yeah,
just
they
do it.
would check out. But the thing
Yeah.
is, though, you want to do more than just check out. Do you want them to stay?
Well, that's where it would be up to him to help get people to stay, get people to check the product out,
Well,
things like that. And they're
well,
already going to have that because people are. Oh, there it is, Real Killer Cross. Finally, he's got 588,000 followers on
okay.
Instagram.
So that would be up to Tony Khan to his followers, keep them in tune into what he's doing. So that comes back to what I said. He would have to use him right because
Hmm.
you don't want them just to check out. You want
No,
them
of
to
course
stay for
not.
the long term. And if
We're saying the
And
same thing.
yeah,
It
we
just
said the same thing. Yeah, but the thing is, though, it all depends on Tony Khan.
well, Tony Khan needs to hire writers, which is why I said a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah, you said
go get Freddie Prince Jr., who is a massive wrestling fan, who wrote for the WWE, likes writing. Let him do his thing. Bring in some of the established guys that have been around that have been producers that are kind of sitting back, not doing a whole lot. There's a bunch of them out there right now.
and this is another thing I do want to see AEW change. I don't want them to hire any. I don't want them to bring in any more WWE guys from the wrestling standpoint. If they poop from the WWE, get the producers, get all the guys behind the scene, get them and incorporate them into your company. Because to me, that's the one major thing that's missing. That you don't got the guys backstage to help you put on a good show, and they will help you your product. And another thing I would like them to have a performance center. So
Well,
wrestlers,
that'll come in
wrestlers,
time. I mean that's going to take a lot of time because I mean look at how long it took WWE to get a performance center. They had OVW, they had Florida Championship Wrestling, but those weren't true established performance centers. It took them how long before they got that up and going?
yeah, but we in this is 2025. You're worth billions. You can put a PC
How many
anywhere.
other promotions have their own performance center?
Yeah, but none of them had the money as Tony Khan.
It's true, but how much money does Tony Khan actually have that's not his dad's money?
It's all his dad's money.
Okay, let me rephrase. How much that his dad is letting him dip into to keep the company going?
Shoot.
I don't disagree. They need to have a performance center, but you have to realign your priorities of like right now, we need viewers. Viewers drive everything. Unfortunately, your ticket sales, they could stop doing live shows altogether and go back to a COVID formula where they just did everything in one location with no fans in, and they could still put on a killer show. And they would make probably a lot more money because they'd have a lot less expenses.
Yeah,
It just
but
comes
if
down to talent.
yeah, but if you promoting you the best wrestler, and prime example, we just said Will Ospreay is out, we said Swerve Strickland's out, Warlow out, right? And I think they should be right now, or should be soon, rehabbing within the next few months or so, or next 3 4 months. Would you want them to be down at your performance center rehabbing, getting checked out by your doctors, doing everything they got to do? They can come back next year healthy, where instead of having them work out alone somewhere at the local gym, get checked out and by independent doctors, you want them in your own backyard. You want them at your performance center so you can keep track on their progression and making sure that they're getting all the treatment, all the things they need, so that when they come back next year, you can go ahead and give them that push. I mean, by them working out independently and seeing the
But that's a
AEW.
perfect. That's saying that they all live there, this and that. Most of these guys don't live down there. They all
Oh, I
have to
know.
fly in towards the end of their established recovery. Like Ilya, he just got to the performance center. Like if you look it up, he just got there like a week ago. He's been almost at this point. I think it's been a full year before he got there. He's just been. He had his surgery, had his recovery time, been training on his own. Now he's getting back to the performance center because they're getting ready to put him back on TV. So it's not like the traveling or it's not like guys get hurt then they spend all their time at the performance center. They go back home, they do all this stuff up until the time that they're getting ready to get back on TV. Then they go down, shake the ring rust off, and hit TV again. But yes, I don't disagree. Having a training center where they could go and get people. But you're even seeing the performance center and how WWE's went after talent with these NIL deals going.
That
Jasmine Nix, she had no love for pro wrestling. They offered her money. She took it. Her contract was up.
she left.
Yeah. It wasn't worth the injuries. They wanted to give her the same amount of money as what they just paid her for the last 3 years. I wouldn't want to do the same job for the same amount of money without a raise unless I'm making stupid money to begin with. I think she said she was making 75,000 a year on that post that she had made.
Yeah,
75 grand? Like, no, I'm
that's
all set.
yeah, that's money like I don't
Even
know.
for me now, I 75 grand, that's what I do in 2 months. Like, come on.
75 grand, I do that in shit. I never reached that level yet. I want to know what it's like. I'm getting
But
there. I'm getting there. Trust me, I'm getting
but
there.
it's you're seeing they're going after these people, and like the Tiffany Strattons, it's worked out. She's a massive star. She's probably going to be the ideal candidate of what they're trying to do. You bring them in early, you train them, you do everything, they become a success. Is she ever going to leave and go to AEW? I would be. I don't gamble, but I would be almost willing to bet you'll never see her in AEW or any other promotion that's not a cross-branded promotion with WWE. She's going to be a lifer.
I don't know. It all depends with is her boyfriend gonna be a lifer?
Who, Ludwig? They
Yeah.
broke up months ago.
I thought they still together.
They broke up months ago. Like, he had posted about it. That's the only reason I know about it, is that he had posted that they had broken up. Oh no,
Yeah.
he's. I'm surprised he honestly still works for the company. I think if it wasn't for the El Grande Americano thing, they probably would have cut him already. Now the Imperium's not together. There's he did his thing with Sheamus, and that
Yeah,
was
they
it.
dropped the ball with that one, man. They should have kept Imperium together. But hey,
Yeah.
that just it, to me it just got that Vince feeling where you had a good thing going with the three. Gervais got rid of one early, and now he phased out Ludwig out of Imperium. Gunther by himself, and I gotta say, Gunther by himself is good. He's a huge star.
Hmm.
But at the same time, Gunther had his faction. He misses boys. Just putting out there. But at the end of the day, me and you are both saying the same thing. AEW, if Karrion Cross ever goes to AEW, he will bring in a lot of his fans into AEW, and the viewership will be higher than it is right now.
So I'm trying to figure out. That's who I was trying to think of. The third one was Jay White. So I'm looking at AEW's confirmed injured roster right now.
Yeah,
So you've
Jay
got
White. And they still ain't
Anthony
put a title on Jay White. A single
Anthony
title.
Henry's out. The
Who
Blade Anthony Henry's out. The Blade is out. Buddy Matthews
is
is still
out?
out. Colton Gunn,
Is still
Danhausen,
out.
Britt Baker, Dustin Rhodes. Apparently, he needs a double knee replacement. He announced that on August 5th. Isaiah Cassidy, Jay White, Camille. They also think that she was partially out just because of the filming of American Gladiators, which Wardlow also did too.
And that
Um,
was filmed a long time ago, so there's no
yeah.
excuse to have her off TV still.
Keith Lee. This is a quote on June 26th. Again, I'm quite fine. It's not up to me when it comes to a return, but blessings to you all as well. So apparently he's fine and ready to come back. Mark Davis, Mark Quinn, Matt Seidel, Nick Wayne, Ortiz, Paul White, which he's just inactive. He's apparently doing publicity work for AEW. Red
Yeah,
Velvet.
he's not a fool. He's not a wrestler. He's not even a part
No,
time wrestler.
I don't know why they have him on here. They just put inactive but doing publicity work for AEW. Ruby Soho still on maternity leave. Mark Sterling and Wardlow, but Jay White was the third name that I couldn't think of at the time.
Yeah, Jay White is the one that confused me because they wanted him. They pay him that big money so he won't go to WWE because WWE wanted Jay White. And I like the fact that they started Bullet Club Gold. I like that. I like the fact that he was part of the trios champion, but I still believe that this man needs a single run as a singles champion, and they have not used him right. Now, he has been out a few times with injuries. So hopefully when he comes back from his latest injury, he'll get the bullet gold back the bullet go back together, get the band back together, beat some of the top heels in the company, and give this man the proper singles run, challenging for a World Heavyweight Championship. Because if I remember correctly, when they started Forbidden Door, he was the main guy. He was like the top wrestler in the world.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they made a huge deal about bringing him in, and then they just never really did anything with him.
Right. You
Besides
sound
the Bang Bang Scissor Gang thing, which was always just kind of weird to me. But
yeah, the Bang Bang Gang. But yeah, they're gonna have to. I hope they use him right. I mean, I'm a Jay White fan. I
Mhm.
know a lot of people probably don't know who he is because they haven't really seen him because he's either been hurt or he's from New Japan. I'm a Jay White fan. And if
Well,
I
New
remember
Japan's not
correctly,
the easiest show to watch unless you're
no,
like a
no, no, no.
dedicated
Yeah, you
wrestling
gotta watch
fan.
it on. Yeah, you gotta watch it on YouTube or you gotta find who was what provider they have. Um, what bothered me about this whole thing with Jay White is that Jay White had a built-in feud with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega don't like Jay White for ever since they were in New Japan. They had a feud there. You had a built-in feud when you brought him over, and you decided to make him a face. And Kenny Omega at that time was a face. And when the Bucks were starting to turn on Kenny, and I remember correctly, someone had said, I don't know if it was the Bucks. Hey man, I can't remember. Someone has said, "Hey, Kenny don't like this guy. Why did y'all bring him in?" I can't remember who said that. But when Kenny came back, you seen the tension, you seen the fire right there. You seen the all right, cool. These guys together are gonna put on a hell of a good show. They should have they should have went with that match.
Yeah, I mean they still have time when he comes back to do something. Because when he comes back, they have to bring him back as a heel, and at that time you'll probably still have a face Kenny Omega, which means it would the stars would line up. They don't always have to do things right away, so there's
No,
still hope that
no,
could
you can
happen.
build up to it, but
Yeah.
but something like that, just kind of like with Kenny and Okada. You brought Okada over there because of Kenny.
Hmm.
We only seen that match one time, and it was kind of really no build to it, and it wasn't a build in a way that we thought it would be a build, but you really didn't need a build because the story itself right there is the storyline itself.
Hmm.
So, am I a little disappointed that we only see one Okada Omega match? Yes, I am. Hopefully, we get more. Just like I hopefully we'll get Jay White when he comes back infused into the Kenny Omega and Okada because he fought both of those guys.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he fought both of those guys. So I would like to
Hmm.
see that feud.
No, AEW's in a pretty good spot. I mean, if they can build on this, the Andrade thing will help. Because again, it's
Mm-hmm.
are they going to land a Cody Rhodes? No.
No,
I could see Cody in 5 years or something when his contract's done and he knows that his wrestling career is over. He might come back as being like, hey, I'm grandfathered into this thing and I want to be around to help you guys grow or something. Sure, but they're not going to go get a Roman Reigns or something like that. They're not going to get a
no,
top
no,
tier
no,
guy
no.
to come in. They're going to have to take guys that similar to Karrion Cross. You were right there on the cusp. The fans wanted you. WWE didn't find value in you. Just Swerve Strickland. Go and make a name for yourself. You're still a name now. Go make a bigger name for yourself. Swerve is making a case now that when his contract is getting close up to the AEW, WWE is going to want him back. Whether he goes or not is totally up to him. But he's made a star for himself, just like Cody. Cody walked out the door. I mean, did anybody care about Stardust? No. I actually found Cody Rhodes to be super annoying. I find him more annoying now than I did back then because at least then they made a parody out of him and did the whole Stardust thing and things like that. He left, made a star out of himself, and WWE came begging to bring him back.
Yeah, the one guy I can see actually go to AEW in a few years, and I think if he does go to AEW, he would be another big star. Carmelo Hayes,
100%. I think there's a lot of guys that should absolutely leave WWE and go to AEW right now.
or
Unfortunately,
even
Drew
or
McIntyre,
even
I think, screwed himself big time by signing a new contract with AE or with WWE. He could have went to AEW and been a massive star day one, and had the whole company basically just handed to him.
yeah, I don't think he really wanted to leave. And actually, I could say this: it's not even go to AEW. If Carmelo Hayes go to Maple Leaf Wrestling, or if Carmelo Hayes go to TNA, or if he goes to NWA, Carmelo Hayes will be a big star. If Carmelo Hayes just wrestled on the indies and built his star up, built his resume up, and then go to and I don't know, be part of Forbidden Door at AEW and wrestle one of their guys and put on a 5-star match, Carmelo Hayes would be a huge star.
A lot of these guys don't want to do the independent thing. They want to go to a promotion because, like,
Yeah,
going to
it,
WWE alone, that's a ton of travel and everything else. AEW is considered kind of like a luxury item because you don't have to travel as much. When you do the indies,
you
you're
traveling.
all over every single day. You might be in Japan and then London and then Mexico, Puerto Rico, and doing it all the way back. Like, you're constantly. I've watched Matt Cardona talk about it, and they're like, he's the biggest success on the independent scene, and he is. But the dude's worn out all the time because all he does is travel.
And still can't get with the WWE or AEW. Well, I take that back. I take that back because he is part of TNA Takeover.
I
He
was
is
gonna
part
say
of
he does
TNA.
have something going on, but
He is with TNA.
if I was a pro wrestler, obviously the goal would be to get to WWE. But even I know my personality, I'd get tired of it real quick. AEW would probably be my happy middle ground
Oh yeah,
of don't have to be on the road nearly as much, much more home time, things like that. Where especially WWE now is a lot better than they used to be. Now that they're
yeah,
not doing house shows and things like that, like the whole being on the road 250 days a year, like I'm all
yeah.
set.
That's going. I think what they're doing now, as far as going on the road, is they're still doing the holiday show in New York.
Yeah, they have like they do them in
They got
block.
certain yeah, they got certain
Yeah,
shows on the road they'll do, but yeah,
yeah, like
they're not on the road.
when they do the whole thing in Australia, they'll do a Raw, they'll do a SmackDown, they'll do maybe like 2 weeks of Raw and SmackDown, and then the PLE, and then they're gonna come back. Like they knock it all out in one burst. It's like a mini
Well,
residency.
yeah. What I mean is they'll do a few house shows overseas.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
they'll throw all those in too.
yeah, and if you and the house shows here in the states, I think it's going to be. I think they're still going to do the holiday one in New York,
Yeah, the
the
Christmas one.
Christmas shows. Yeah, and but other than that, it's not going to be any more shows on the road. You
Well,
know, as TKO said, we're saving money
is back in the day it made sense because you needed to promote your product,
and build your stars.
and house shows still make money. You're still
Hmm.
making money off the gate, you're making money off of merch, things like that. But the risk to what if Cody gets hurt? What if Roman gets hurt? What if CM Punk or Seth gets hurt on a house show and they're out for 9 months? Look at Ilya. Ilya was about to get pushed for a massive push, got taken out on a house show overseas when they were doing the UK invasion or the Germany invasion or whatever it was. Got taken out by Gunther, tore his ACL. You lost him for a year. He's going to have to come back and get all of that pushback because it's not like he was a Triple H or something like that getting hurt and coming back where everybody's just going to lose their minds. Like he's going to have to come back and reestablish who he was.
Yeah, because my opinion before he got hurt, we seen our next big feud, Gunther and Elio for the championship. If he had
Mm-hmm.
never got hurt, that would have been our champion. He might would have
Ilya's
been
my guy.
champion now. He might have been champion now if he
Oh, I
had.
think I'm convinced he would have 100% been the world heavyweight champ
Yeah,
already.
he would have been Gunther for that title.
They keep talking about Braun Breaker like he's the next big talent. Like he's a broken version of Brock Lesnar. Like there's nothing about Braun Breaker that is better than Lesnar.
Well, yeah, I mean, what he is your next big star. They build him up that way. He was in NXT. They bring him slowly on the main roster. He in technical form, yes, he is going to be your next big main eventer.
Yeah,
But I believe Dragunov is going to be even bigger main eventer than Brown Breaker. Heck,
Ilya's
even
your next. He's your main eventer for the next 15 years.
right, and don't get me wrong, like even Gunther, I didn't think Gunther was going to be a bigger star than Brown Breaker. I was wrong. He's your other main eventer for the next 15 years.
I don't
And,
even know
yeah,
how old he is.
which who Gunther?
Yeah,
He in his 30s. I think in his 30s, he's not a young guy.
he's 38. He is older. Because
Yeah,
I was like, he's got to be pushing 40. Because I saw pictures of him wrestling back in like the early 2000s.
yeah, he's not a young guy. And remember, Vince was who changed his name, and Vince was going to use him. Um, Vince wasn't really going to use him. He was just going to be a jobber, and he was going to fire him.
Vince wanted to keep him fat. That was
Yeah,
Vince's big thing. He wanted him to stay fat.
he wanted to save Walter. Nah. But to Gunther's credit, he lost all that weight, got in shape, made himself to a main event talent. Triple H, one of the few things he did right, put the title on him. And why? Let this man grow with the title so that the fans can get accustomed. Hey, Gunther's a heavyweight champion. He's going to be our main eventer and champion for the next 50, well, for the next 10 years, not 15. But
Gunther is your main event heel for the next
right
10
now,
years.
yes.
He's going to be the guy that has the belt when you're developing your next face to push to the top tier. That's
Yeah.
exactly what he is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he needs to be, because what do they lack in that company?
Heels.
Main event monster heels.
You just got
You've
one.
you've got Gunther, and
Drew
if you
McIntyre.
used him right, you'd have Drew McIntyre, but you guys don't use him right, so Drew McIntyre falls down to like a mid card almost, like mid card, almost at main event heel status, only because they don't use him correctly.
Yeah, yeah. So let's get to the next topic. And by the way, this guy thought that the two topics that we would have nothing to talk about.
I
He
did not
forgot who
say
we
that.
are. He forgot who we are. Our off-topic conversation would take most of this dang show, like it did already, and I love it.
I'm not
So,
worried that we didn't have enough. I just said I don't know what the structure is, because you only told me that we were going to talk about the 6th anniversary, and I'm like, okay, I'm prepared to not talk WWE at all. I mean, notice how we haven't talked about SmackDown, because there's no point.
no. This is all about AEW. And then, look, man, our off-topic conversation on wrestling, that is the show. That is the show. So really, that's why I said I only got on the rundown sheet. I only got two topics, and they will fall in line. So
That's
this
fine.
last topic is kind of like I don't know why he said this and he went after Gail Kim. And shout out to Gail Kim for double down, standing on 20 toes and staying by what she said. I said 20 toes because the first time the first time she made that comment, she stood on 10 toes. The second time she ain't double down, that's 20 toes to me. Kenny Omega's an idiot. Can I call him an idiot? Or can I
I
say that's
mean,
not a very smart comment?
if you do it on social media, he's the type that would respond. So if you want to have some fun, you could do it on social media.
Yeah, I do on social media. Kenny Omega made an idiotic comment about Gail Kim because Gail Kim, who is retired, not part of no wrestling company, not part of the WWE, not part of TNA, Maple Leaf Wrestling, AEW, Indies, nothing. She just chilling at home with her husband Robert Irvine, who got muscles on top of muscles on top of muscle.
Great snack bars, by the way.
Yes, and he's a chef, one of the best cooks in the world. So she comment on Rio, her presentation, that she looks like what was it, like a child when
That
she comes
yeah,
down to the ring?
she's depicted in like the schoolgirl kind of
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
get up, which
yeah,
is not wrong. She is,
yeah.
and her
No,
whole gimmick is like that of like a 15-year-old
girl.
Japanese academy student type thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Now me don't get to the whole comment, whole thing because now, I mean, if you guys, if you read it on, if you see it on social media, if you read it on one of the dirt sheets, you know that Gail Kim, she only seen one AEW match, and that match was with Riho, and she didn't like her presentation because she's like a 15-year-old schoolgirl where she's a grown woman. Now, Riho is Japanese. Riho has been dressing like this ever since she started wrestling. But the thing about it was that she dressed like a 15-year-old girl, and you got a lot of sick freaks out here who daydream, who fantasize about Rio because she dressed like a young girl. And then she also made the comment about the cameraman with up her skirt. And all those are facts. Showing stuff that, I don't know, stuff that we should not be seeing during our wrestling. And those are facts. And Kenny Omega took offense to that. He said something about she is just doing the splits on the was it the splits on the WWE's you know what?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a derogatory comment. And Gail Kill came back saying she don't know what he means. I mean, what he's trying to say. I mean, again, she's not part of no wrestling company. She just gave her opinion about Riho and how she dressed. Kenny Omega took offense to that. Ain't like she said Kenny Omega is wearing a 50-year-old girl schoolgirl uniform, and the camera guy's all up his dress, showing off his private parts. She didn't say that. I don't know why Kenny Omega's taking offense to a retired professional wrestler who is a woman who made a comment about another woman about her ring attire.
Yeah, Kenny Omega said another day and another legend doing the splits on it for the yearly TKO gift basket, which if I'm Tony Khan, I'm telling Kenny Omega to shut up because your women's division needs help, and she's basically the perfect person that you could pay. Probably going to have a lot of issues at this point now to bring in to help fix, because one of the bright spots of TNA was women's wrestling. He
Yeah.
could have brought her in to help with that, and now you're going to have to work a whole lot harder if that's even on your radar. But if I'm Tony Khan, it's 100% on my radar. Go get Gail Kim. Go work something out with Scott D'Amore. Bring people like that in. Bring in the Freddie Prince Juniors of the world to help fix this and push it to the next level.
Well, you had that chance. I mean, who? Why would she even think about entertaining coming out of retirement and working with the ladies in AEW since Kenny Omega she doing the splits for the annual gift basket for the TKO.
Yeah, she responded just saying that they were derogatory, but I'm trying to find what she followed up with after that. But as far as what Gail Kim said, I don't disagree because I mean it's Rio's gimmick. It's what she chose to do because it's not like AEW put her in that gimmick. She did it before she got to AEW. Um, I'm not the biggest Japanese culture person, but I do know from what I have seen that is kind of the girls' thing is that they do depict themselves as all trying to be teenagers. Um, so is it wrong what Gail Kim said? No. Can I see why she said something about it? 100%. The cameraman doing the whole up the skirt thing too was also very weird. I get like you have sometimes they pan to a camera that just happens to be positioned in the wrong spot when they pan to it, but that wasn't somebody flipping to a different camera angle. That was just the camera guy it was bad.
Being a sicko.
Yeah, just it yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, look, I think it was Kenny allegedly made those comments that Rio has been bullied and that's why she's not on social media anymore. I don't know if that's true or not, but at the same time, Riho had to know that when you dress like a 15-year old schoolgirl in a schoolgirl uniform, you're gonna get this type of comment. You're gonna get this backlash from another woman who just telling you how she feels. And to Rico's credit, she hasn't said anything. She hasn't said anything, so we don't know how she feels about Gail Kim. What Gail Kim said, but for Kenny Omega, he just weighed out of line.
So Gail Kim did follow. I don't want to read this whole thing, but I probably kind of have to. She said, "I'm a little feisty. I'm a little fiery. So when people come at me, I have this need to defend myself. I did budge from my stance because the view that AEW fans or maybe the Rio fans had, a lot of them were misunderstood, and I felt got very twisted inside out and backwards and forwards in every which way you can imagine. So I tried to explain myself. I was not in any way saying anything bad about her. I was talking about my discomfort in a segment that I had watched probably when AEW started because I don't watch AEW currently. I've tried a few times, wasn't really my cup of tea. I do support, of course, a lot of the wrestlers over there because our world is very small. And yeah, I always support the wrestlers and what they do. I gave my answer from a question that was asked. I think it stemmed from a Jim Cornette question, who was also very controversial. And I guess people who didn't like my opinion and maybe read people's twisted interpretations of what I said took it the wrong way. the Meltzers of the world and people telling me I need to apologize, it's just ridiculous in my opinion, just because I don't think he fully understands the situation. And like I said, I would be happy to have a conversation just like we're having right now. I always feel like having conversation clears things up so much more, besides standing behind or sitting behind a keyboard where you're anonymous. Whereas we're all public figures and we have to take accountability for what is said and what's not. And I'm not reading the whole other paragraph, but that was basically the gist of it.
Right. The simple fact that Dave Messler actually said something about this and said she needs to apologize. He's not even a credit writer, journalist.
Yeah.
In fact, he's on the AEW payroll.
Yeah. And again, I get why Kenny Omega stuck up for her because it's somebody on your roster and AEW always feels like they're being attacked. I get that. But even when Gail Kim said it, I didn't take it as she was attacking Rio. Like it's the gimmick, it is what it is, and there are people that unfortunately like that kind of thing. So she knowingly plays into it because that's the gimmick she gives herself, but as far as twisting it and making it into something it's not, I can definitely see how people do that, because if you're a defensive minded person, you're always thinking you're being attacked and you're just going to go at anybody you think that you interpret to be saying something negative about you.
Right. And it wasn't about that. And I get it, AEW always come under fire. But the last guy I want to defend my company is Kenny Omega.
I mean, unless he's making fun of CM Punk, I really don't go with a lot of what Kenny Omega ever says. Not that I try and pay attention to it unless it gets to be big enough that I just hear about it, but like his comments on CM Punk, people call Kenny Omega at one time the best in the world. He's like, I've never had to call myself the best in the world. I just let other people do it for me. Things like that.
Ooh, whatever.
I mean, I do find it funny that CM Punk calls himself the best in the world. It's like, you're not even remotely close to a top 50 wrestler at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, everybody calls himself the best of something. So it's like, he's the best of the world. Next thing you know, somebody else gonna say they're the best in the world. And it don't even matter. To me, it's just a saying, or it's just part of your gimmick. Hey, I'm the best in the world at what I do. I mean, that's what Chris Jericho said. He's the best in the world at what he does.
Don't mind Susie deciding to walk or crawl across the ground.
The simple fact that I seen it, I didn't think she was gonna do it, but she did it.
She did it last time we did this too, but I wasn't sitting down, so like nobody noticed this time. I just happened to sit down mid-show, and like I just looked up and I'm like, she's literally crawling across the ground right
now. Yeah. With the baby bump.
Oh yeah. It's gonna get at some point. She ain't gonna be trying to get down there like that anymore.
Ah, boy, oh boy. Well, with that said, that's a good way to end the show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see me and Jamie on Tuesday. We're gonna be watching Raw and seeing what's gonna happen. Hopefully it'll be a good show.
To talk about some WWE news.
That too. And remember, make sure you like, subscribe, and share our show. And make sure you comment, because that helps us out. We like to talk to you. Just how much we like you sharing it. So please talk to us, share the show, tell your neighbors, tell your parents, tell your friends, tell the homeless guy down the street, tell everybody about the Signatures and Finishers podcast. Any last words?
Not today.
No. Neither do I. Today. Go Tigers, go Lions.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Tigers won last night, so.
Yeah. Let's see. The Scuba is pitching tonight, so let's see what happens.
I'm hoping we go up 2 games. I mean, Scruble's kind of a lock when he pitches, so.
Yes, he is, but he does have one of those games sometimes.
He does.
And go Lions. They got a great opportunity to win. Let's see what happens, but it kind of feels like a trap game.
Yeah, you just don't think like that. That's all you can do. Just don't think like that.
Yep. All right, everybody. We out here. Peace.
Later.